Hey guys, welcome to Third Planet from the Black Holes review of the DC animated original movie Batman Soul of the Dragon. I'm your host, Danny Benson. While this is a movie that is not based on any particular comic, this whole thing plays like a love letter to the late great Danny O'Neil era of Batman comics from the 1970s. Especially since it features two characters of his creation, Richard Dragon and Bronze Tiger, who happens to be voiced by the ever-awesome Michael Jai White. You could sum this movie up as a cross between Enter the Dragon and James Bond with a little bit of Batman thrown in. Why did I say little? Well, let's get into that. So the story for this movie is set in the 1970s with flashbacks of Bruce Wayne and other characters from the film such as Richard Dragon, Bronze Tiger, and Lady Shiva all training under O-Sensei, who is voiced by James Hong.
Seinfeld, ball!
Man, Michael Jai White and James Hong in the same movie? Sign me right the hell up. Anyways, so a cult of snake lovers, I guess, steals this ancient sword, which brings the group back together so that they can retrieve the sword and save the world. I have to say that for a movie called Batman Soul of the Dragon, there really isn't a whole lot of Batman. In fact, he acts like a side character in this movie with barely him ever appearing in his costume, at least until the third act, that is. I guess that's not a terrible thing though, as all the characters are pretty fun to watch, and it's cool that some of the lesser known DC characters are getting some well-deserved attention. There's a couple of negative things I wanted to address though that fall into the spoiler territory, so skip to the time listed on the screen if you want to avoid spoilers altogether. Okay, so in the climax of this movie, Batman is taking on a possessed version of his old master, O-Sensei. During the fight, Batman wraps his cape around O-Sensei's head, and at first I thought he was just trying to choke him out, but Batman just straight up breaks his neck without batting an eye, which is something we know Batman would never do. And last I checked, this movie wasn't directed by Tim Burton or Zack Snyder, so it just really stuck out. The second spoiler I wanted to talk about was the fact that the ending for this movie kinda sucked. You see, after the demon is released from O-Sensei and goes back into its realm, Batman, like the badass he is, goes in alone, only armed with a sword, to take on the demon himself. The rest of the crew shows up to back him up, and we think that we're gonna get some epic battle, with all of them fighting this demon in pretty much hell. And then the movie just ends. Seriously, it feels like 10 minutes were missing from this movie. I mean, what, they've run out of money? The next thing I wanted to talk about is the animation style for this movie, and I have to say, I love it. I've always preferred the DC animated movies that have this kind of animation style rather than that knockoff anime look of the New 52 inspired DC movies. That being said, I don't really like the design for Batman's cowl, and I wish we could have got something a little bit closer to the 1970s Neil Adams Batman design. Also, Batman never takes off his shirt for a sword fight, as he does in the comics, and we were all deprived of one of the greatest images of all time. Despite the fact that we weren't all graced with the image of a shirtless Batman that still has his cowl on, I have to say that the action, voice acting, and the music in this movie are all really good. And overall, despite its faults, I'm glad I saw it. It's far from the best DC animated movies, but it's also far from the worst, and I'm glad that some lesser known characters got a chance to shine. That's why I'm giving Batman Soul of the Dragon a 2C, because it's cheesy fun. So that's it guys, as always, if you like what you see, go ahead and give us a like and subscribe to help us get to 100 subscribers on YouTube. To stay up to date with all things nerdy, follow us on social media and subscribe to our newsletter on our new website. The links are all in the description below. And remember, we waste our money so you don't have to. Thanks for watching.